Welcome back to one of our videos here. We have created a modern deck that of cards that we had kicking around here that I think might do well in a game setting, one-on-one against somebody. Then again, I could be completely wrong. I might get walked all over by the end of it. I don't know. But I am looking possibly for cards that you guys think that might help it. It is geared around a lot of instances and effects throughout the game. So, of course, we've got our favorite lightning bolts. So we got 4 lightning bolts in here, and we decided to throw 4 incinerates in here. So that's 24 points of damage right there on 8 cards. No problem. So because of the instances, we figured we'll throw these guys in here. It says whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on him. So yeah, hitting a creature or just playing the Incinerate or Lightning Bolt against somebody and doing damage, it beefs these guys up. So that's no problem. So then we got Shock, which I think there's another one here. Okay, so we got 4 Shocks here as well. So that's more quick spells, instant spells. So yeah, if you don't kill them by direct damage to somebody, then I don't know what this deck is really built around. What would be good for this type of deck would be ways to draw cards. And I need to find out ways to draw. Once you play an instant, I'm sure there's cards out there. Once you play a red instant or something along those lines, or a copy card, maybe that's what I need to look towards to copy the instant. I know there's some of them out there that allow that. Copy the instant or sorcery. I think double vision, but I think it might be in here. But you also have these guys as an elemental guy, but whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, he gets +3/+0 to end of turn. Okay. So you play 2 Shocks in a turn. In that sort of sense. And you're dealing direct damage to your opponent as well as you're beefing these guys up. And they get stronger as well, and away you go. Then we threw, hey, why not? Let's throw some lightning strikes in here. Maybe put more lightning strikes in here as well. Maybe we just pull all possible direct damage spells to people. I don't know. But you also have Goblin Slide. This is a little bit different. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, pay 1. If you do so, put a 1/1 goblin creature into play. I could always take this out if I want to put more direct damage in it, or if I want to find ways to draw more cards or duplicate some of the instances that are in here. I'm open to suggestions on what to do. I'll probably read over some more cards, try to figure out other ways to do more damage. Then we've got more instances. Cost you to bring out 3 damage to player or creature. No problem. So yeah, it's a royal pain in the butt deck. Then we've got this guy. Legendary creature. If a red source would deal damage to opponent or permanent an opponent controls, it deals that damage +2 instead. So yeah, in turn 4, you could have some cards that are actually doing some serious damage to them. So instead of 2 points from a shock, it would do 4 points. Or 3 points from a lightning bolt, it would do 5 points of damage. So yeah, you could have this guy out, hit him for 3 lightning bolts, that's 15 points of damage, and the game could be pretty much done. But if you can, and this is what the cool part is, if you can get this enchantment out, it costs 6 to bring out, which is inexpensive, but it says, if a source you control deals damage to a permanent or player, it triples the damage to a permanent or player. So with a combination saying you play this guy out, 2 turns later you play this guy out, or on the same turn maybe you play this, and then on the next turn you do some weird sort of damage to them and whatnot. So you do a lightning bolt technically for 5, but you're actually doing a triple of damage, so you're doing for 15 points of damage. It's kind of interesting. Then you have Double Vision. It's another enchantment, costs 5 to bring out. So maybe you've played. So here's maybe the way you play it. You got Torbrand 4. This is turn 5. This is turn 6. And on turn 7, you do some serious damage to somebody. Double Vision, what it does is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell each turn, copy that spell. You may choose a new target for that copy. So you're hitting them with a lightning bolt. Now you've hit them with 2 lightning bolts. So 10 points of damage instead of 5. And so you could technically do a big whopping 30 points of damage if you have these 3 combo, like this combo in play. When you hit him with a lightning bolt, all you have to do is hit him with a single lightning bolt. You hit him for 30 points of damage. Why not? And just for fun, I threw some defense cards in here. So you have these walls. But it says also whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell, the electrostatic field does 1 damage to each opponent. So yeah, it's one of those things where you're doing, you get your, guy in here again. So instead of 1 point of damage, you're doing 3 points of damage to him. And if you have 4 of them out, you're doing some serious damage to him on every turn basis. No problem. And if you're doing damage to him, you add these flying creatures in there. And whenever opponent is dealt damage, Chandra gets a +3/+0. So yeah, it's reasonable that you're, say you've hit them with a lightning bolt twice in that sort of sense, and then you turn around and now this one's out. But say you have, okay, I've got 2 of these out. Hit him with a lightning bolt. Now you've hit him twice with a single lightning bolt. So you've hit him with the lightning bolt. Now you've hit him with electrostatic field twice, and now he's a 10/3 flying creature. A lot of the decks I've seen don't know how to control, or don't seem to control enchantments very well. But I could be wrong, or they can't control, if they're playing goblins or something along those lines, they don't seem to know how to control flying creatures as much as dealing with ground creatures. But this is a deck that I created. I think it would do well in a game, but I need to find, like I've done in the past, I need to find ways to draw cards. Just like blue has ways to draw cards, in a deck like this, I need to find ways to draw more cards. If somebody's got comments, can give me comments on cards to check out in Modern, on cards that would be good to pull out in that sort of sense, I'm all ears. I'm ready to listen. I'm ready to pull the cards into this deck. If I can take out some direct damage or something along those lines, or that goblin card that's in here that produces creatures just because it's something, a simple enchantment. But yeah, I'm all ears for listening for other cards to add to a deck like this. But this is a direct damage deck. Maybe I throw fireballs in here. Do some serious damage to somebody later in the game. Like you're at a standstill. You control the board by controlling his creatures with all the lightning bolts and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden you play one of them, and you play something, and then you fireball them to death or something along those lines. I don't know. Anyways, there's lots of options with this type of deck. Yes, it's a lot of direct damage. It's a cheese way to win, but you know what? Some of the combos I've seen nowadays, they're even worse than a deck like this. So you could technically, in a deck like this, you could do mass amount of damage in a short period of time if you're just hitting your opponent instead of hitting their creatures. So if you got, by turn 4, you could technically do 3 points the first turn, 6 points the second turn. So you're at 9 points of damage On turn 3, you could technically do another 5 points of damage, maybe 6 points of damage, so they'd be at 15. So on turn 4, if you can pull enough cards out, maybe turn 3, maybe turn 4, if you can pull enough cards out, you can have them dead if they have no life gaining skills. But it's a good deck to go against something like Black Vice, in that sort of sense, where the Black Vice is controlling you by the amount of cards you have in your hand up past 4. So any more cards past 4, you take damage. But this is my creation. I'm open to suggestions, but that's it for this video. Bye for now.